Everyone experiences it at some point in life. The feeling of being everything to someone. The warmth of being the one they run to when they are lost. The one they remember only when their world is falling apart. And each time you open the door, believing it must be love. But what if it isn't? What if it's simply need? This is a story many people live but rarely question. We grow up believing love means sacrifice. We are told that staying, no matter what, is strength. But sometimes the most important lesson is learning the quiet difference between being truly loved and being gently used. There once was a woman named Mara. She lived in a small village tucked between two hills, where the road curved just enough that you could never see what was coming next. Mara was not wealthy or famous, but everyone knew her, not because of status, but because everyone depended on her. If a neighbor's roof leaked, Mara would arrive with tools before being asked. If a child fell sick and no one could watch the others, Mara opened her home. When an old man named Thomas lost his wife and stopped eating, Mara came every morning with bread and silent company until he found his strength again. People called it a gift. They said she was meant to help others, and Mara believed them, because when she gave, she felt a quiet sense of peace, as if she was exactly where she belonged. Mara had a husband, Edric. He was kind but distant at times. When life became difficult, he would retreat into silence. He stopped asking about her day, stopped sharing small moments. Mara would still care for him, bringing tea, offering comfort, without expecting anything in return. When things improved, Edric would return to his warm, thoughtful self. Mara accepted this cycle, convincing herself that this was simply how love worked. She also had a childhood friend, Sela, bright, expressive, and full of energy, but only when life was going wrong. Whenever Sela faced problems, she came to Mara, not to listen, not to give, only to release her burdens, and Mara absorbed it all. Each time Sela left, she felt lighter, and Mara felt heavier. Still, Mara told herself this was friendship. Then there was Doran, a restless young boy without guidance. Mara took him in like family. She gave him work, listened to his dreams, and supported him when he struggled. He called her the closest thing to a mother he had. Those words filled her heart, but slowly, quietly, something in her own life began to fade. Her energy drained. Her own needs were forgotten. Even her small personal garden, once full of life, was left neglected. Then one autumn, everything changed. Mara fell ill. Not dangerously, but enough to keep her in bed for 2 weeks. For the first time, she could not help anyone. She waited. Her husband tried, but his efforts were uneasy. Soon he began to mention how difficult things were without her, not harshly, but enough to remind her that giving had always been her role. Sela visited once. She brought a small gift, but spent most of the time talking about her own problems. Before leaving, she simply said, "You'll be fine soon." Doran never came. As Mara lay there, something inside her became still. Not anger, not sadness, just a quiet clarity. She thought of all the times she had shown up for others, all the care she had given so freely, and she realized something she had never allowed herself to see before. She had not been loved. She had been needed, and those are not the same. Being loved means someone sees you even when you have nothing left to give. Being needed means they only see what you can offer. Mara understood something deeper too. When you fill every gap in someone's life, they never learn to stand on their own, and slowly, without noticing, you lose yourself. When she recovered, Mara walked into her neglected garden. She cleared the weeds and planted new seeds, but this time for herself. That morning, she made a quiet decision. She would still be kind, still help others, but not at the cost of herself. The next time Sela came, ready to unload her problems, Mara gently spoke first. She shared her own feelings, honestly, without fear. For the first time, Sela listened. Something real formed between them. A balanced friendship began. Edric noticed the change too. Mara no longer rushed to fill every silence. At first, it confused him. Then it made him curious. Slowly, he began to ask questions, to engage, to show care. And when Doran eventually returned, ashamed of his absence, Mara did not dismiss it. She told him the truth, that care must be shown, not just spoken, that real connection requires effort. That lesson stayed with him. Mara didn't close her heart. She didn't become cold. She simply chose differently. She gave from a place of strength, not fear. And something beautiful happened. She began to notice the people who had quietly cared all along, the ones who never demanded, never drained her. Now she had the energy to appreciate them. If you see yourself in this story, ask yourself one honest question. When you had nothing left to give, who stayed? Because the people who truly love you don't just need you, they choose you. You are not here to be used. You are here to be valued. Give, but give with awareness. Be kind, but not at the cost of your own peace. Because real love doesn't take everything from you. It grows with you.